What's going on, folks? Try to get you into a position here where it's not so blah with the light in the background. Give people a few minutes to get in here as always. This is going to take a little time. This is kind of a bit impromptu this evening. I've just been really busy and haven't really put anything out, so I figured it was a good time to go live and talk about some things that are going on. What's up, Brandon? I'm trying to read that and make sure I don't butcher your name. Interesting. I got comments coming in here, but it tells me nobody's in here. YouTube notifications on point. That's good. What's up, Axel? So, got one of my sweet cups I got when I was in Daytona there from the Bubba Gump Shrimp Company. Dylan, Shay, and I went out to dinner there one night. Got myself a souvenir glass with my drink there. Made myself a nice vodka and pink lemonade for this. It is coming out of the season where I can't drink, not that I can't drink hard liquor, but I don't really like drinking hard liquor when it's really hot. It just makes me sweat too much, and I already sweat too much as it is. But this time of year, good stuff, so we like it. So I just wanted to discuss some things that are going on here. Talk about some pairings that I'm planning for this season. And we'll grab some babies out and stuff like that at some point. So right now, I think that last time I checked in with you guys, we discussed the fact that Rob came over and we went through some snakes and sexed them that, you know, I've had suspicions on one way or another. Mainly what I needed help with was sexing the big white lip. And it was a two-person job. Although, to be honest, I think in a pinch I probably could have done it myself. I set up a really good situation. You know, I used the shift box that I used for her, but what I did was I got a big oversized pillowcase. I put that inside of the shift box with the opening of the pillowcase coming out of where she goes into the shift box. Of course, turned out to not be a she. I'm still used to calling her she. But, you know, let him crawl into there about 5 feet worth of body and then wrap the bag, held on to that, and then Rob came in and held on to the very end and did some probing, and we probed both sides. One thing I learned many years ago with probing is that a lot of people don't know what they're doing with probing, and so they'll push too far and actually break like through the membrane of a female and make it look like it probes male. Most people are right-handed, so, you know, most people go to the same side on a snake when they check the sex. So if somebody's done that and you only check that side, you could sometimes get an inaccurate reading. So you always check the other side too and see if it matches up. And in this case, the probe went very, very deep on both sides. I want to say between 9 and 12 scales, which is a lot. So that was a definite male. And so that changed a lot of plans for me. So years and years of planning, getting ready to breed the white lips, obviously was a bust. So I got to the point where I had to make a decision with the two white lips I had, the two males. The price on white lips over the last couple of years has skyrocketed. So, you know, when they used to be $400 to $1,000, now they're $2,000 and above for anything decent. Unless you want some fresh out of the wild import that may or may not have issues from somebody you probably shouldn't trust. So I can't afford a female. The only female I even saw available right now is $3,500. I think that's a little high anyway. But even so, even if it was $1,500, I just can't afford it. So I had to make a decision. The larger male would have been the obvious choice to get rid of because that snake is a handful more often than not. But that snake also took about 2.5 years to settle in here. And so I had to factor that into my decision of what's best for the animal, what's best for the species and the hobby, and what's best for myself. Financially, like I said, getting a female would have been the best decision. I can't afford a female, that's out. No way, no how. So that went right out the door right away. So then the options became, what do I do with these two males that I have? And you know, like I said, for me, the easy decision would be to get rid of the larger male. and move on. But that animal's probably 15 or 20 years old, took 2.5 years to settle in. He's very high strung. Him and I have kind of a good relationship now where I can handle him a little bit more frequently. I can take him outside. I was able to handle him that night to get him into the thing without too much of an issue. He was a little freaked out, but he wasn't bad. And so, plus, you know, Rob was there, new person, new smell. That always freaks out high-strung snakes. But he handled it really, really well. He handled the probing very well. So anyhow, needless to say, I didn't want to take that snake and send him out and make him re-go through a 2-year period of trying to settle in somewhere else at his age. That could very well stress him to the point where it kills him. And I felt that was irresponsible to the animal. So then that brings me to the other male that I have, the one that I adore. And I came to the conclusion that the best thing for him, the best thing for the species, the best thing for everybody involved was to find a suitable person that was in a position to try to breed these snakes. They're very, very uncommonly bred in captivity. Only a few people have done it here. So I listed him for sale with some stipulations that the person had to have white lip experience, they had to have adequate caging, and they had to have female southern white lips, known female southern white lips. And so, damn, what a super restricted. Yeah, it was not a pleasant decision at all. Like I literally want to cry. Like I was just soaking him earlier tonight because I'm shipping him out tomorrow, and I can't even spend time with him before he goes because he's in shed, and I don't want to stress him out any more than transit's already going to stress him out. And they're always a little bit more high-strung in shed. But I found a wonderful situation for him. I found a person with a 1.3 group of southern white lips. He's going to quarantine there in a tub situation just to get through quarantine, just to make it easy to kind of handle him without a lot of stress on him in the beginning. But he's going to go into basically like a walk-in enclosure that's like 5 feet tall. It's going to have branches on multiple levels. It has hides high up, hides down low. So everything that's really ideal for him. So he's going into a better caging situation than I have for him. He's in a 4x2x16 here. So that cage with 5 foot of vertical obviously is much different than what he has, but he likes to climb. And so that was one of the stipulations I put in there when I listed him for sale, is that whoever had him had to give him the ability to climb at least a little bit. Didn't have to be anything crazy. You know, he even likes to sit on top of his hide, and his hide's probably about that tall. You know, so maybe 10 inches tall if I had to guess. And then it gives him another 6 inches of height above that. Plus he had his bamboo crosses in there and stuff to crawl on. So he likes to climb. He spends a great deal of time up. He's rarely in his hide. He's in his hide now because he's in shed. But that's basically the only time he hides, is when he's in shed. If I'm out and about, he's out and about. And he's always begging for food. So a very difficult decision, but I feel like I made the right decision for the animal. I feel like I made the right decision for the hobby and the species. I'm not in a position in the next several years to breed them, and he's in the prime of his life right now. He's 5 years old. He is ready to breed. He's ready to go. This person has adult females, you know, just about ready to go there, if they're not ready already. So he can go settle in and maybe even breed late this season or next year. So I feel like it was a good thing to do. And I think that's important in every decision that we make. Too many people make decisions based on, okay, I bred this animal for a couple of years. I have a replacement for it. Man, I don't want it anymore. Whatever. And I'm not saying that there can't be situations and times where you do that. I let go of my male T-positive matrix recently to Brett, mostly because he was never going to breed here again, given the other males I have ahead of him. Brett was looking specifically for a male that was T-positive in matrix or some combination thereof. That guy was not very high strung. I feel like he would make a good adjustment. He's not super old. I think that animal was a 2015, if I'm not mistaken. 2015 or 2016, but I think a 2015. So he's still in his prime. He's got a lot of good years left. He sired the one clutch for me that I got my T-positive ivories out of. But it just felt like, once again, he's getting into a better situation where he's going to be, you know, able to breed and do the things that he wants to do. So that's better for him. So that's the only time that I let go of animals like that, is where I feel like they're going to be going somewhere where they're more useful to the species, to the person they're going to, that it's a suitable environment, suitable caging for them. And like I said, I just wish more people would do that, because there's a lot of people out there that buy Southern White Lips for pets, and that's great, but really, are you helping the species right now? Are you helping the hobby right now by having one of those animals and not looking to breed them when, you know, people are having such a hard time getting them to breed? You know, the demand is there for those snakes. He sold, you know, basically the first day that I put him up. Do I notice anything age-related in older snakes, meaning what? I mean, there's a lot of things that are different with older snakes than younger snakes. Yeah, it's a tough situation, because I am super excited for him to go there and have this opportunity to breed and have this really cool cage and live his best life. But I'm also like super sad because that's one of my favorite snakes. He's done so well here, but I've transitioned him from tubs to caging and take him outside, do all these things. He handles every situation really well. So I feel like he was a strong candidate to establish somewhere else and do well and not take a long period of time to settle. I'm sure he'll take a few weeks. It's a white lip. They're a little high strung. So I don't expect him to go there and next day be settled in like a short tail, sometimes a day and they're good. I don't expect that with him. I'm just waiting for Axel to tell me what he meant by the older animal thing. Reason why I'm holding on, I'm getting a Savu for now with him to become more labor. Yeah, so if you were planning on getting a pair of Savus and breeding them one day, you know, that'd be different. But to get just one as a pet, I passed up on a male Savu a few years ago that I really wanted. But it was the same thing. When was I going to ever find a female? This was a male in his prime, ready to breed right then and there. So I actually mentioned it to Sonia, who was looking for Savus. And I had bought a McLott's python from her, and so I knew she was looking for them based on conversations we had had. And she ended up buying the male, and now she has like 2.2 or whatever, so she can work on breeding them. So it worked out well. And that's, like I said, we all have to think about the hobby. And the hobby needs... Oh, Justin, you're supposed to be working. Why are you not working? You know, that's what we need. Like, are they slower or weaker, like older humans? Once they get really of age, yeah, but at a 5-year-old snake or a 10-year-old snake should not be, if their health has been prioritized and they've been well cared for. But yeah, so with that white lip, that male, like I said, I don't know his age, but he's got a monster head on him. Yeah, what the fuck, Justin? Trying to pop out in the background. I don't know where you're looking. Probably in the ARS rack somewhere. I see some down here. The Sumatrans love to do that. I don't know if that's the one you see. But anyway, so that white lip is probably 15 to 20 years old, and he's not slow or weak. That animal's very powerful. That animal's very fast, very agile. You know, when he does not want to be bothered, he will let you know very quickly. Oh yeah, the one next to it, yeah, I can see that right there. Right there. Hey. I have to fix that rack at some point. It's not set up right, so there's heads up there. Anytime I'm in here, they think that I'm probably in here to feed them, and so they start popping out, looking around, and trying to see if they can entice me to give them food. But yeah, so he's not. But I've dealt with older animals. I remember working at the rescue, we had a rat snake that was about 20 years old, and he was very weak. So when we fed him, he used to literally sit in my lap. I would have to hold his food in my hand, put his head in front of it, hold it there, and let him eat out of my hand. Because if you just left him in his cage, he would have too much trouble with his body control at his age. I mean, he was just to the point where his body was definitely quitting on them. So that does happen. And when snakes start to look old, they're usually very, very old, because they don't really show those signs of age typically until they're really up there. What's up, Kyle? Yeah, Ron, we're not going with Rhonda, we're going with Ronnie. But Ron is definitely a female now, so Ron's on a elevated food schedule, and we'll try to pair her up soon. If not this season, next season, and try to see what we can do with her. That line and that plan that I have is kind of ruined at this point anyway. Big Red is just not a good candidate to breed with her head issues. And obviously Ron not being a male, definitely mess it up. Yeah, I'm not even going to start pairing stuff up for a while yet. I don't typically pair until like November, December. We'll see what happens. So as far as planned pairings go for this year, I'm going to try Dambala, my T-positive 007, to my big T-positive girl. What exactly do you mean when you say, oh, hold on. You say elevated, like a larger every 2 weeks or something for him. First of all, it's not him now, it's her. So elevated food schedule, normally for Ron being a male, he was eating probably like once a month. But now that I know that it's a female and I need to put a little bit more size on him before I breed him, yeah, he'll probably be eating about every 12 to 14 days for a while, with a little mix there. You know, if he's in a shed cycle, I'm not going to feed, so they'll miss out on that. And then after hitting him kind of hard like that for her for maybe a month or two, I'll skip a couple meals and just let everything clean out of the system and then keep going. And I say those time frames, so that's just really a loose guideline. I don't feed off the calendar like that, so I'm going to go by visual, see how the snake's looking, you know, how the snake's acting, and make decisions based on that. I don't make decisions based on what day the calendar says it is. Ron goes to they, them now. No, I guess maybe he has multiple personalities, but I don't know. He's just always in a, or she is always in a glass cage of emotion. I should have known as dramatic as she is that it wasn't a male. But you know, mistakes happen in sexing with these more often than most people will admit. Rob and I actually checked quite a few holdbacks that I had with the Sumatrans and things like that, because I've been considering letting a Sumatran or two go. And those 3 females that I had are all females, so that was nice. I just talked about the white lip thing. I'm actually sending out the smaller male tomorrow. He's in shed, so I soaked him tonight. I normally wouldn't have soaked him before shipping, but because he's in shed and he's been in his hide, I don't think he's drank the last day or two. And with white lips being able to dehydrate so easily, I figured I'd put him in a soak for like just a half hour just to make sure he drank something before he goes, you know, overnight in a box with no water. So that was something that I did. But planned pairings, I'm going to try the olives again. Food cycling the female now, hitting her kind of hard. The male I'm hitting moderately, but not too much. I like him, the size he's at, he breeds very well. It's just a matter of getting her to cycle and getting her to actually take. So I got to food cycle her a little bit and then start temp dropping her pretty hard very soon here. My goal is to have them paired up before Christmas, so I'll start temp dropping her real hard probably very soon. And the male as well. They'll both get temp dropped pretty hard. You got to get them down to about 60 degrees. And other planned pairings I want to do this year, I want to run Atlas to Lilith if he'll go, and try to really play with that gray stuff in the Borneos. What do you mean, what has happened to Brett? I just talked to Brett earlier tonight, because he bought that T-positive matrix from me. If we're talking about the same Brett. So Atlas to Lilith is one pairing. Dambala to the big T-positive girl is a pairing. His profile is gone on Facebook. Really? I don't know. He messaged me from Messenger like half an hour ago. So I don't know. Maybe he just has Messenger and not Facebook. I know there was some drama going on in one of the FBI groups involving him, Elijah, and somebody else. But I don't know the situation there, and you know, I don't get involved in that shit. Especially because the person complaining, they were not a part of the transaction that they were talking about, so it was very confusing. All I can say is I sold Brett a snake. He paid for the snake. He paid above shipping. Picked the snake up at the hub right when it got there, like agreed, and you know, has been communicating since. So that's all I know. But yeah, he's all right as far as I know. I literally just talked to him right before I went live about the snake he got for me and just how he's settling and whatnot. And he's already eaten, so far so good. Other planned pairings, I'm trying to get Midnight Rider and Morticia to go this year. So that is a big hope. I'm hoping to do Orion to Electra this year. That's a pairing I've wanted to do for a couple of years and just things haven't been lined up. You know, either I've been breeding her to something else or him to someone else, and I really try to do one-to-one. But that's a pairing I've wanted to do for a while. So far, the T-positive 007s are pretty stagnant. I've gotten very little on them. The snake market as a whole went from, I mean, you couldn't keep anything in stock to sales have slowed way down. Yeah, that SSTP, that is going to be some nice fucking stuff if I can get those two to take. Morticia's a little small still, but she's got the age. But her mother was small, her father's not that big, so I think sometimes I get in my head that she needs to be bigger than she needs to be. But we'll see. She's doing good so far in the cage movement. No, they better not be both males. Midnight Rider is proven, so we know he's a male. But yeah, so the T-positive 007s have moved slow. I made somebody a real good offer here locally on one. Actually, I made him an offer on a pair. I offered him the male one of the male T-positive 007s of his choosing, and then my female T-positive Ivory, because she's just a massive cunt, and I'm honestly at the point where I don't care how pretty she is. I'm tired of dealing with her. And I warned him of that from the beginning. I said, she is not a pleasant animal. She's going to bite you every single time you touch her. She flips out. She flops. She'll strike the side of the cage when I'm in here sometimes for no reason. She's just not a nice animal. And, you know, she's 2 to 3 years out from breeding. So if somebody wants her in a package deal like that, sayonara. She obviously hates my guts, so she's not going to miss me to go. But let me see, we can, I got to clean these guys, but we can take them out here. Oh, don't be crabby. Don't be crabby. So this is male 5 here. Trying to hold them up without making them flop because they're way up in the air. But they're really, really handsome snakes that are going to be very, very nice. So I'm very much, you know, I honestly wouldn't be depressed if they stayed for a while, but at the same time, I'd rather see them get out to new places when they're young and let them really settle in with somebody and, you know, really do what they need to do. Yeah, no, that ocelot, those Borneos are such fuck bags. And, you know, I don't care about getting bit, but they flip out so much, and they'll end up flopping and smacking the floor, and they're very small. So I really don't want them to get hurt. These guys really handle very well, all things considered. I mean, this snake's a little freaked out right now, but it's doing what it needs to do. You know, it's definitely not happy, hence the kind of grip it's got and whatever else. But, yeah, so I'm hoping somebody will eventually jump on these. Just because, like I said, I would rather see them get into new homes while they're younger and let them kind of settle into a new environment. You got to stay in the tub there, dude. I'm not trying to be mean, but... All right, let's do it this way. This will be easier. There you go. I'll clean you later. You're on the docket. But yeah, these are really nice animals, and they're already on frozen thawed, which is nice. They eat great. So I started them off obviously on small mice right out of the gate. I didn't even bother with hoppers with these guys because there was really no reason to. They were big enough to take small mice, small adult mice right out of the egg, and so that's what we did. But started them off on that. I gave them, I think, 1 or 2 live meals on those. Then I switched them to live rat pups, and then I switched them to frozen thawed rat pups, and they all just took every time offered. It was real easy. No real complication. I didn't see what was just said there. My diamonds. Diamonds are awesome. Absolutely loving it. But yeah, no, these guys really have pretty good temperaments, all things considered, for how young they are. And I really, the only time I've taken them out is for the video I did on YouTube with them before, and then now, and then for pictures. I haven't really done any handling with these guys, and they just seem to take everything in stride so well. But beautiful, beautiful T-positive 007s, and you kind of have to imagine the future when all of that turns red. They're going to be quite nice animals. So that one's number 6 there. But then on the flip side, you can see the size difference. Like this, I think this is a male here. This one has not taken a meal yet, and so I've got to. All right, come here. I've got to get this one rolling, but you can see, you know, much smaller animal because it hasn't taken a meal yet, whereas those other ones are already 3 or 4 meals in. But this guy's going to be super nice color-wise. We just got to get him feeding. And I have not put that much effort in. I've just offered and whatever. I've got to start, you know, doing some things and helping him figure it out. Handles well. Pretty good temperament on this guy, too. They don't really give me any problems. So the whole clutch, honestly, is really been quite pleasant. The only one that's even taken a shot at me was on film on YouTube was my holdback, the GoldenEye. That's the only one that struck at all thus far. The rest of them have all been just absolutely fantastic. Sorry, I'm just trying to catch up. You guys are just having a conversation there. Should I get another blood? I wish you could get another blood too, but you know, you had to go and get crazy. But yeah, it just thinks that they're all males. I think if one was a female, I'd have it sold already. So that was definitely a hindrance to that whole thing. Having 3 males of the same thing obviously serves me no purpose to sit on 3 males. So I would like to see some of those move soon, but obviously I would rather see them move to the right places and not just anywhere. The other one is right here. This one already went home to a new home. That was the female that was featured on that one video in the beginning of this clutch where I was handling her. Why do you look all hopped up? Come on. All right, you're fine. You're fine, mister. This is number 2. So, I mean, they're all really great. He's obviously not very happy right now, but what are you doing, dude? But like I said, they're not bad. I mean, baby bloods that are dicks, I would be bleeding everywhere by now already. So overall, these guys are pretty chill. They're not quick to bite at all, but they're still baby snakes, so they're still nervous, and they still need a little reassurance and all that. Like I said, the only one that's been bad is mine, of course, because that's the way that goes. Let's see what mood Her Highness is in tonight. She looks like she's in her usual, I don't want to be involved in this mood. So that's my lovely lady right there. Really, really excited about this one to see what I can do with her in the future. She is just so pretty and has such a ridiculously cool pattern, especially on the side you can't see right now. I'm trying not to freak her out too much with too much manipulation, but that side there I love. Just like those circles and oscillations and everything. Just really fucking awesome. And when that all turns red, she's gonna be really nice. She's still very weary of me. She's watching me now. If I got my face closed, she would take a shot at my face. But she's just scared and nervous, and she's a baby snake, and That tail's going to be absolute fire when she gets older. When all of that through there gets real red. Kind of have to use your imagination a little bit and think of the future. Because right now, you know, she looks pretty dull. But she's going to be real pretty. The moment she hatched, I said, oh God, if that one's a female, I'm keeping it. And she was, so she stays. Even if she turned out to be a male, I wouldn't be mad. It's going to be a nice animal no matter what. So I'm very, very excited about that. Very much looking forward to it. A little sanitizer before we move on to anything else. But yeah, so other pairings that I might do, not really sure yet. Those are the main things that I'm considering. There's an off chance that I might pair Sambuca up this year. I don't really know yet. It's getting to the point to where one of these clutches is going to be her last. She's had a little bit of time off, but it all depends how I feel when the time comes. I kind of just pick and choose. You know, I have ideas in my head of pairings that I might do, but it comes down to when it's time to start pairing. If I feel like the animal's ready to pair, I'll pair. If I feel like they're not, then we just push them back and do another season. There's no reason to push animals. You know, I'll pair the water pythons again this year. They're another one I just have not been able to get eggs out of. I'm currently in discussions to acquire a male Cape York spotted python. If I can do that, I don't think he's going to breed this year. If he is ready, I may try it. Otherwise, I'll be trying to shoot for Cape Yorks next year. He's really nice looking. Obviously, I love my female a great deal. So as long as these snakes that I'm shipping out ship well and everything goes as planned, then I'll probably invest in that animal and pick him up a cage this weekend that I've already discussed. It's a 3-foot by, I think, 18 by 18 or something right in the realm of a good size for a male Cape York. And what he's used to now, he's in a 3 by 18, so it'll be a good transition for him to go into the same size cage. So we'll see how all that works out. What the fuck is that? Oh, thank you, sir. Good luck. I appreciate the well wishes. And whatever animal that is, little fox, I guess. How's the dark side swipe girl looking for the season? She's not going to go this year for sure. She's a next year plan. I am thinking about pairing Callisto this year. I just don't know what male I want to put to her. I keep going back and forth between several. Ultimately, I want to put that male that Rob has, Rob Valentine, but he's never going to send me that thing. Yeah, no, the dark swipes I'm going to shoot next year. They're definitely on the docket. But Callisto's just got like flaming yellow sides. So I want to try to capitalize on her color. That's the purpose of putting Orion back to his mother and Electra, is to try to bring out that color more. I've tried for years to get a male that I feel is worthy, a male sideswipe that I feel is worthy of going back to Electra. Color-wise, if Callisto was a male, would have been perfect. If Astro was a male, perfect. But they're both females. I keep getting super nice female with that fiery yellow color, but not males, which is usually the opposite problem. Usually you seem to get more color in males and not enough in females, but for whatever reason that line is throwing me so much color in all females and not males. Going to repeat the same pair that made Rob's male this season. Yeah, he may. I've talked to Will a little bit. I think Will actually made it out to Daytona and I talked to him. But they are definitely, he's got some killer Borneos. So I will have to acquire something from him at some point when the budget allows, just to work in some new blood here and, you know, really accentuate some projects. But yeah, Callisto could go maybe to my Philly stripe male. He's got some yellows, but I don't know. I don't want to go brother to sister on that clutch, so I'm not going to do Orion to her. Atlas is her half-brother, but I want to do Atlas to Lilith, so I don't want to split him out. Plus, I want to focus on his gray more somewhere else. So I'm just not sure what I'm going to do to Callisto, but she's definitely in the plans to work in there at some point. The difficult thing for me is I'm trying to keep certain genetics separate, and every time I'll come, oh, this would be a cool male, but oh, this male's super stripe. I don't really want to do super stripe and side swipe together because that's going to get really convoluted. Ocelot and side swipe was already strange enough. Let me see how this piece of shit's doing. Chances are it's not going to let me take it out, and plus it's flipped over its water and it's in the water dish. We'll see. Well, maybe I can just show them off in the water dish here. So that is the baby side swipe to Ocelot. I don't want him to fall. That side's really nice there. You can see, I'm trying to get into lighting where you can see really well. Just a really cool baby. It's already eaten, which is nice. Put it back in there. The other one has not eaten yet, the other Borneo. And the other one's a little bit more wackadoo too. He flipped his water over too, but he's not on top of it. She, I should say. She's a bigger baby. But I don't even think she's going to let me touch her. She looks very agitated. Come on, why don't you pop out? There you go. Oh, easy. Easy now, you're going to fall. Very, very freaked out, so bear with me a second. Trying to do this in a manner that does not end up with the snake getting hurt. I don't care if I get hurt. I just don't want the snake to get hurt. Nope. God, here we go. Flopping, flopping, flopping. Borneos are the fucking worst. And exactly what I didn't want to happen, flop onto the floor. Because now I have no way to get it up off the floor. Stand up in bad spot. No, 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 no. Come on. And there you go. Don't start being like that. Just go back into your tub. Bear with me, guys. Now it's freaking out and I can't get it off the floor. They're so hard to pick up when they flatten out like this. And I don't have anything in here I can use. Come on. Come on. Go. No, stay in the damn tub. You're going to fall on the floor again, stupid. Once they start, they don't stop. Oh, flopping again. Come on. No, no, no. You're going to fall. Put the water back in later. So that's the last time I listen to Mike's advice. Borneo babies, when they're floppy, are such a fucking pain in the dick. There's just no way to handle them without them hurting themselves, and that's what worries me. Like, it didn't bite, didn't try to bite. It just falls all over the place. Spam him with dog stickers. I got one, so thank you, Adam. See, I can still hear him flopping in the fucking tub over there. He's literally flopping around, freaking out still, because I touched him. Like, it's just, they're ridiculous. I don't know what it is about baby Borneos, but they just really suck. There's not really any other way to put it. Let's see what we got here. Here you go. Come here, yo. There's a widow Sumatran growing up. This female's getting a little bit bigger. That is a female, yeah. Keep forgetting I got to put them up here for you to see them. No, you're supposed to be in the video. So she'll keep darkening still, but already pretty dark. Little ways to go. Hi. Yeah, I don't have food for you. But I really like when they have the white back there. That'll go away a little bit more as she gets older. But the white and black is something I like. I just don't want brown. I don't care. They can have as much white as they want. I just don't want, like right there is brown. That's what I'm trying to work out through breeding. Is that, hi, why are you so agitated? You'll live. Try to see if we can see it a little bit better. You can see a little bit more there. There's kind of like a brownish tinge. I mean, obviously she doesn't have a lot compared to some other ones that are out there, but still I want none. Das gotta go. Move your tail. Thank you. Jesus fuck. What you do down here? Where's your brother? Your brother's up here. Hi, dude. So this is a male holdback that I'm raising up. Obviously now that I let Tux go, Midnight Rider is kind of the breeder, but hopefully I'll have this guy ready for next year as a backup. We'll see how he continues to develop. I initially kept 2 males back from this particular clutch. I sold one, kept him. You can still see there's a little bit of brown in there, up there, you know, that I wanna eventually work out. So that's where those girls like Morticia and Voodoo Queen come in. It's just keeping going and keeping down with trying to get rid of that as much as I can. You guys are filthy, man. What have you been doing in here? I just cleaned this whole rack. Disgusting animals. The Borneo has stopped flopping, so that's a plus. See who else is over here of consequence. So this snake here, I don't know if she's in shed or what. Where you at? Where you at? Come here. This snake here I actually sold a while ago, and I haven't heard from the person like literally in like a year. Close to it. So this Sumatran, you know, she's a chrome head, obviously. She's not fired up right now, so she doesn't look like a chrome head, but she is. But yeah, she's been sitting here sold for a while, so I don't know what's going on. You know, I don't know how long I'm supposed to sit on a snake without any kind of contact about it, but I reached out and didn't hear anything back. The person's active on social media, so it's not like they're dead. But haven't heard anything back, so this poor girl's just sitting here. So pretty soon I don't know what to do. But, you know, wonderful, typical Sumatran, very easygoing. Food monger. Like all Sumatrans. Made a mess, though. I don't know what you guys did this week. Get in there. What did I do with the paper? Where the fuck did I put it? I don't remember reaching up top, but I must have. Not taking out the douche because I don't want to deal with her. Take out my bud. Hi, dude. You made a mess too. What the fuck? Yeah, y'all are on some crazy shit. Gotta take out my dude because he's my dude, and I fucking love this snake. So someday this will probably be a t-shirt eventually. Depending on how he develops and how I like him when he's older, but I can't imagine not liking him because he's just awesome, right? Oh. Are we not happy about being out today? You'll get over it. But yeah, I mean, I love that tail so much, and you can't really see the silvers very good in the lighting in here. It's just hard to pick up, but he's awesome. When will that T-positive be a t-shirt? I don't know. Maybe someday. Hoping he's going to breed this year. I just got to pick which female I want to put him to. He's a possibility to go to Ronnie Burgundy at some point. He's a little bit of a smaller male, so a smaller female might be decent for him. Hi. Hi. I also might put him to my Matrix Het T-positive and shoot for some pixel stuff, or not pixels, Matrix, excuse me. Pixel stuff may happen eventually, but I gotta wait until that golden eye female's of age. What are you doing? See, he's a monster. Super mean. But Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with him yet. How big do you want your males to be at like 3, 4 years old? I mean, they can be however big they want to be. I don't feed the shit out of them. So typically they're going to be smaller than my females. But I don't even try to have my females huge at 3 or 4 years old. I feel like females should be hitting their like real true adult size at like 6. Some of them will hit it at 3 or 4 and then grow a little bit slower. But as long as they do that within my feeding regimen, that's fine. But I don't try to pump them full of food. Now Ron, for a female, is small for the age, but I fed him like a male for a long time. So that's why I've decided to up his intake a bit, or hers, I should say. I gotta get used to that. It's so hard to call an animal something for years and years and then just adjust. But this dude, I can't wait. I'm hoping to have this dude ready to breed next year. Yeah, I don't really think much about that. But, oh, what are you doing? Your tongue is going in my nose. Yeah, you see people, oh, it's so scary. Really not scary. Not at all. Not at all. They're just little kids. Sometimes they're a pain in the ass. That's about it. Now, mind you, I have a few I wouldn't do that with. That T-positive Ivory would have hit me in the face about 17 times by now if I was holding her like this. But this dude is really awesome. He handles everything really well. I mean, is he though? I guess. 1 clutch versus 0. But I don't know. That's debatable. I took her out. Who's down here? I don't remember who's where. Oh yeah. Come here, girl. One of the marble boys. This is the male that I kept. He's doing well. You looking at? Really like how dark he is on his tail there. That's probably my favorite thing about this male. Just in general, I like the darker colors he has. He didn't have the nice orange head like the male that I let go. Actually, that male's shipping out tomorrow, but he's in shed, so it's not even worth showing him off right now. But this is the one that I decided to keep to back up my marble male, who's actually home now from being up at Rob's for a long time. So he's back. I think this is one of the females here. Yeah. What's up, you big bitch? What's up, you big bitch? Hmm? This is the larger female with the less striking head, but definitely cool pattern. You guys have seen her a bunch in the past. But these marbles are all so chill. Do a welcome home video for him, for the male. It's funny, he gave Rob a lot of shit. You better sit back down, boy. No making TikTok videos right now. Unless you're making a TikTok video about watching my videos, that's allowed. But no, she's really cool. But yeah, no, the male came back fine. But he gave Rob a lot of shit when he was up there. I know he bit Rob at least once, and I think he went after him a few more times. But yeah, that snake's never given me any shit. She looks like she's in shed. Are you in shed? Definitely in shed. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, definitely in shed. I can see the loose skin around coming off. She's probably going to shed in the next day or two. She's real close, so you can't even see how nice she is because she's going into shed looking ugly. Looking ugly. So we'll leave her be. That's the other marble female. I don't even know, where did I put the marble male? He's in the ARS rack for sure. I'm just trying to remember where I put him. I think I put him where Morticia was. So I think he should be in here. I'll have to see what kind of mood he's in. I haven't taken him out really since he's been back. Hi, bud. Here he is, the father to those kids. Let me get back a little so you can see him. But yeah, for whatever reason, him and Rob just didn't really click too well all the time. He's never really given me any issues here. The female marble, his sister's a little bit more of a head case. So she's taken a few shots at me before, but she's like really weird. She'll go from totally relaxed one day and the next day she's just like a demon spawn from the fucking bowels of hell. This guy's more even keeled, but he is food motivated. So he will often come flying out of the tub for food. Yeah, it's quite possible. But yeah, she's weird. Like I have days where I could throw her from my shoulder and do housework with her. And then I have days where she is not coming out of that tub without bloodshed. And you know right away, the moment you open it, you can just see the look in her eye, the demeanor. But she's definitely a bipolar animal as far as that goes. This guy, I don't ever have issues with, but like I said, he definitely got Rob at least once, and I think he tried a few times, but he's a cool snake. You see some of his marbling there. Real close up of the face. All right, come on. There you go. There you go. So I have no complaints. He's been good since he's been home. I think part of the problem, honestly, a few of my snakes that I've sold to Rob have been a little more temperamental going up there. Nerd is hot. It's very hot. I keep my room cooler. Right now my room's really cool because I've got the exhaust fan going. And granite is better than marble? No. No. I've bred both. Marble's definitely better. I like what it does better genetically and things. Granite, I actually got rid of my granite after I bred her. I hated the clutch so much. It's rare that I do that, but I was like, no, I don't ever want to breed this animal again. I hate these. I'm legally obligated to say that because I have granite. There are some, Nick makes some granite combos. He's put some work in and made some nice stuff. Are you in the shed or anything? No. Fine, you need a stink eye? Well, who I want to pull out. Oh, you look all kinds of annoyed. Would you like to come out anyway? And show everybody how much of a fucking wench you are? Fucking Astra looks like she's in a foul mood today. But yeah, I'm hoping to get her ready for this year or next year. Because I love the color she's got going on. Callisto might even have nicer yellows than her now. Astra was always the nicer one for the longest time. But I really want to get her working into some kind of project, right? I've got to move her up. She's on my list. I've been shuffling some things around, and I'm going to try to move some snakes hopefully up this week into some bigger stuff. So she's one that's on the list. My skunk girls are on the list. I'm hoping Christmas tree tubs will be available this year because I need more. I have a few outside I'm washing up from moving stuff around. So, but yeah, she's smoking, man. Right? Are you done being pissy? Done being pissy? I love her. She's like her mother, though. She likes to act like she's tough, and she hates strangers quite often. Sorry, I didn't mean to flick you in the head. But, great girl. Looking forward to doing something with her at some point. She's another one. I don't know what male I want to do with her, but whatever I do, I'm sure she'll make spectacular babies because she's just incredible. I don't know. I pull her out a lot, I know, but like that's one of those snakes that I've been in awe of since the day she hatched, and it never, ever, ever ends. Where is him? I think he's here. Hi, bud. What's up? Are you in a mood? Yeah, it's like fucking everybody be miserable today. I don't think you guys have seen much of him lately, but he's still looking absolutely incredible. Ready to do his thing. Hopefully this season will at that point where he should be about good to go. You want this snake, but you can't have him. Even though he's a pain in the ass and he's eye-fucking the shit out of me right now. He's like, bro, I hate you so much. Why you mad? But yeah, I mean, he's got pinks and shit on his head that you just can't even see in this. I'm trying to get him, move him around in the light so you can kind of get a little bit of a hope. But what are you doing? You're such a weirdo. Such a weirdo. But yeah, no, he's coming to his own quite nicely. Got that real nice red. Like I said, it gets washed out in the lighting in here and worse on camera anyways, like everything else. Yes, I still have your brother's berm. He's in the other room. I haven't put him on the channel really at all. He is, he's an old man. He's still a pain in the ass. He's got to be pushing what? Jesus Christ, what year? We're in 2021. He's got to be pushing like, I don't know, 18, 19 years old. Yeah, that batik is well, T-positive batik's very, very nice. But yeah, the berm's in the other room. He looks like an old snake, but he's hanging tough and doing his thing. Still dumb as a box of rocks. That's never, ever, ever going to change. I don't think there's two brain cells for him to rub together. But yeah, he's one of 3 snakes that are in the other room. Now, I only have 3 in that room. I have the big male white lip, the male albino berm, and the female olive python are in that other room right now. I have the other racks taken apart. I want to redo some stuff in there. So I just have some in the living room. Most of my collection's in here right now. Let me see what else I missed here. Dun 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 dun. Just joined us an albino Borneo. No, that was a T-positive batik blood python. Show us your trouser snake. No. Wonder if keeping the apartment so cool at like 74 is part of the reason all of ours stays so calm. 74 is not cool, man. If that was my apartment, I'd be miserable. I don't like living above like 68 degrees. It's too hot for me. But yeah, I keep the room temp in here probably between about 78 and 82. And the bottom levels on the ARS, I think the bottom 3 have heat on. And then that is it in this room that has heat right now. Everything else is ambient. The other room, I've got, yeah, 68 is high, but I have to compromise. And I got so used to it when I used to have the bird, too, because I didn't like the bird to get cold. Yeah, you get cold because you weigh 12 pounds. Eat a sandwich, dude. Like, what do you want me to tell you? I lost my train of thought completely. See what you guys do with the comments. That's why I can't watch this shit. There's my thumb. I don't know what I was talking about. Oh, so those ones in the other room, the berm, the olive, and the male white lip are all on like heat panels and regulated. I do let that room get a little bit warmer for them, and then obviously I have to drop it. It's all good, Sam. I actually have to do a members-only video at some point. I haven't done one lately, so don't feel bad about that at all. I've really dropped the ball on that stuff. Pretty bad. I've been broke my whole life though, so I didn't get broke. I've just been there. And then the living room, the 4 cages are all on radiant heat panels, and the rack that's in there is heated for those guys. But that's all cooler species that are in there. Between, you know, the smaller male white lip who's leaving tomorrow. The male olive python I have on the bottom because he's the one I need to get the coldest when it comes to breeding cycling. My female Cape York's out there in a cage. The boa's up in the top cage because that's the one that needs it the warmest. And then I have the water pythons in that rack, and I don't have anything else in that rack right now. I have the female water python in here. I'm going to move out to that rack soon. I'm just trying to get her a little bit bigger just because that rack is herptastic, and herptastic racks don't really sit level at all. So I don't want her to get out. So I just want a little bit more size on her to feel comfortable. I tried to take my bigger female water python out when Rob was here to show him to her. But she had an absolute fit. And in fairness, it was like probably 11:30 at night. And so as soon as I went in and tried to like first touch her to let her know I was there, she like body jumped, and I'm like, oh, she's not gonna have it. But I'm like, whatever, Rob's only here for one night. I'm gonna get her out anyway, and she can deal with it. And she did what she did, and she literally levitated up in the air and landed on the ground. And I had to catch her and grab her and get her back in, so he really didn't get to see her anyways, because she just threw an absolutely ridiculous liasis fit, as they can throw sometimes, some of those species. Especially when they don't want to be touched, man, they can boogie. But I was able to grab her pretty quick because I knew she was in a mood right away. But I did get to he got to take my male olive python out. Well, I took him out for him, but he was very excited to hold him. He held him for a while, and he's good even at night. He doesn't get into that it's nighttime crazy mode. He's pretty relaxed. He's the only one of my liasis stuff that doesn't really react to nighttime. Don't get me wrong, he's always food motivated, so he wanted food, but he doesn't go bonkers. Oh, it's not just chicks. The male water python's worse than the female when he gets freaked out. So he really bugs. He's a very nervous animal, but he's doing really good this year. Usually this time of year, it's like hard to get him to eat steady. He's been eating great. He actually took food off the tongs for me for the first time ever, like a week or two ago, and I've had him for years. Never would he take food off the tongs. Always had to be left underneath the substrate or under the paper in a hide, dark room, quiet at night, and he literally took it right off the tongs. I was like, yeah, buddy, man. But I've been bouncing him back and forth between like birds and rats and kind of really jostling his feeding schedule around, and it seems to have him feeding more voraciously. And that was even a rat he took off the tongs, so it wasn't even just him getting excited for birds. So I'm very happy to see that. Outside of that, for pairings this year, Raiden will have the year off. Blood pythons don't seem to go back to back. I'm not sure if anybody's had success with that. Now, eating, my ball python got out for 2 months. Oop, hold on, I missed the rest of that. Ball python got out for 2 months. I don't know how it lived, but it stopped tong feeding. Huh, interesting. You found him, I'm assuming? Also, how's your Borneo doing? I haven't heard an update lately, so hopefully well. You know, it's nice. Mike posts the one, you know, his Borneos a lot, so no complaints there. I think probably, I don't think I saw Rachel pop in here, but she might be my favorite customer ever, and just how much she's just so in love with her Borneo that she got. I mean, she named it Peanut, and actually I got to briefly meet her at Daytona. She's doing really well. Really surprised how, did you say how big she is? I missed that. A lot of that granite stuff from the granite to marble got pretty big. I didn't keep any from that clutch, but I've seen a few, and they're a good size, bigger than the marble stuff that I've seen. So they're definitely growing. And their mothers are pretty close in size, so I don't know why, but I have noticed that. But yeah, so Rachel gets like very excited. She loves that snake, loves his personality. So it makes me very happy to see that as a person that, you know, does sell these animals from time to time and whatnot. I mean, that's the ultimate win when you see somebody absolutely love an animal that you produced and how excited they are all the time. And you know, every single time I talk to her, it's just how much over the moon she is, and how, even though that's not even, you know, she has one Borneo, she works with colubrids, she loves her colubrids, but she's like, you know, he's up there as far as favorite snakes go because of his personality and how interactive he is. And some of them are really like that, you know, especially if you put the time in. That's why it's so hard with the white lip, because the male white lip and I have a great relationship. I really love that snake. There's definitely a lot of remorse there in seeing him go, but I just kind of have to remind myself that it's a better situation for him, it's better for the species, it's better for the hobby, that he goes somewhere where he's got an opportunity to breed. So hopefully with him having that 2-3 group, he'll find some compatible pairs in there and be successful. It really sucks for me. I was really looking forward to pairing the white lips this year. You know, I spent quite a bit of time talking to Ryan and formulating plans and starting to food cycle and do all this stuff and putting some size in the male while, you know, trying to food cycle the female. And then to have that ship sail like that really stunk, but that's life. What are you going to do? You got to kind of deal with the situations that come at you the way they come at you. And that's really all you can do. Let me see. What did you do? Yeah. There. She's got poop on her face. But that would be Voodoo Queen there. That nice urate right on her mouth. Decided to be an artist apparently, but you know, you can see from the siblings she's still got that white. She still has a little bit of brown in there. Morticia is definitely the darker of the two of them. So she's going to be the first one that I'm really going to try to pair. But I do like Voodoo Queen a great deal too. I cannot believe you painted your face. You look terrible. It's true. I wouldn't lie to you. You look awful. But she's a good girl. So you can't fault her for having a wonderful personality and also being a nice looking animal. It'd be nice if she didn't paint with her face, but they do that. She can never look awful. She does look awful. She's got a big urate all over her face. Which usually she's not too bad with. I don't even have any paper towels in here right now. What am I doing with my life? Oh, I did it right there. Say, that's not like me. I don't have a bag in my trash can though, but I'm still going to throw this in there, so don't tell anybody. Oh, there you go, Justin. It's about time you do something. Do some work. My stepdaughter needs some nice shoes. Let's go. I don't know when I'm doing another live. I have not been doing really good with doing the videos right now. Haven't been traveling either. Fuck off. Come on, that was funny earlier. You know it was. Yeah, I got to get my car re-registered right now. My friend hopefully is going to drop off my tax money this week so I can take care of that. It's a pain in the ass getting to the tax office here. And every time I discuss this, everybody's like, well, why don't you pay online? Because I live in fucking East Bumfuck, and this town is still in 1815, and they don't do that at all. And if you write them a check, they hold it for fucking ever. Because it's the same lady that's worked there literally probably for like fucking 74 years. Very, very sweet lady. Not faulting her at all, but they have just not changed with the times. It is East Bumfuck, man. I live in the middle of nowhere, which I like. I'm happy with it, but it's a pain in the ass when it comes to stuff like this. So every year when I need to do my registration, it's a pain in the ass because you have to pay your taxes first. And I know a lot of people don't even know what that is, but we pay property tax on cars here in Connecticut because Connecticut rapes us in taxes. So how's the rat snake? The rat snake is very good. She's getting very big. I haven't pulled her out in a while, so I need to do that. She's all the way out in the living room though. But she's doing great. She eats great. She eats pretty much anything. Mice, rats, birds, doesn't really care. She's probably, I don't know. I have not named her. Whoa, easy, Justin. Buy your own kid. Is that a peace offering so that I don't steal yours? I don't think you can get a kid for $20, but I'm gonna try. But yeah, no, she's doing well. I don't know if you guys saw, I had that black rat the other day that I got a hold of from outside. That was really cool. But yeah, I haven't taken her out, so I'll need to do that. Maybe I'll do that on the next video or two. Maybe do an updated Meet the Collection with her at some point. Because she's been here for a while now. I don't even know how long I've had her. But she's definitely growing. And she was definitely reaping the benefits when I got these babies and I was first doing live feeders. Because I don't feed anything live except for when I'm trying new babies. So I had to do something with them. You take care as well. So I just, culled them, and she was getting anything they didn't eat. So she was a very happy camper. She got a couple of mice one night. She got a rat pup another night. So she was living large. Oh, see, there's Brett. He is in here. Let's see. Can you get out one of the Borneo siblings so I can see how big they are to make sure I'm doing it? I don't have any. I got rid of that whole clutch. So I don't have any siblings from that clutch. The ones that I've seen are probably somewhere in the realm of like this guy. Maybe a little bit smaller, but probably around this guy's size, I would say. That's just a rough estimate. It's all good, Brett. A couple people were asking about you. They said they didn't see your Facebook profile and thought you were like hurt or something. And I was like, well, I talked to him earlier, so I think he's fine. But yeah, I think this guy's about the size of those, because Dan Monroe had one. I don't know if he still has her. And then Rob, I think, still might have a couple. And then there's somebody on my Instagram that has one, but I know people buy like Instagram usernames and not their actual names, so I feel bad. But I think he's got one. There's a couple other people that have one. Dan did have his for sale. I'm just not sure if it's sold or not. Thank you, Krithi. I can't read. Mine's a little shorter, I think. That's fine. I mean, a little bit smaller is fine. He might even be a little bit bigger than the ones that I saw. I was just trying to think of a snake I had of similar size that I could grab out quickly. But yeah, Dan's was probably a little bit smaller than that when I saw it. And I know, oh, someone did buy it. I don't know. He kept telling me it was giving him trouble, and every time I went up there, she was great for me. She was just sitting in my arms. I was cradling her. She was fine. And he kept saying, oh, she's trying to bite me all the time, trying to bite me all the time. I think it was just one of those things. Sometimes certain snakes don't click with certain people, and they just didn't seem to get on the same page. I went up there like 3 separate times, and every single time I took her out, and I literally had her for like 45 minutes just laying in my arms while I was there. And every time he took pictures and got mad at me because he's like, I don't understand, I don't understand. I'm like, I'll tell you, dude. I'm like, she's fine for me. But it definitely happens. Yeah, I mean, it all depends. The only holdback I've ever had that gives me trouble is that T-positive female. Every single snake that I've ever produced that I have has never taken a shot at me. That bitch hates me. But considering I have, let's see, Voodoo Queen, Black Magic are both holdbacks. Callisto's a holdback. Ronnie, Atlas, Voodoo Queen, the Batik, his sister. I have Amina, Anne. I don't even know who else. Most of these guys, all these guys except for 2 are holdbacks over here. And then those guys, I mean, I have probably 25, 30 holdbacks here, maybe more, to have one that's crabby. I'll take it. But yeah, the rest of them don't give me any trouble. Is the Rob merch going to become collector's items? Oh, I think you mean Ron. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to leave it as Ron for now because that's what everybody knows. We'll just call her Ronnie when it's required to identify her her gender. Wow. There you go, Mike. There you go. Third try. I won't make too much fun of you because my phone does that shit to me all the time. But yeah, I'm going to leave it for now. Actually, I don't even know if I told you guys on the channel at all, but my Voodoo Queen Morticia merchandise is not Voodoo Queen and Morticia. And I wondered when I set that up, because I'm like, man, I can't believe I got a picture of Morticia like that because she's so miserable outside. And then my memories came up on Facebook from like whatever year that picture was from that I used. And I had on there future pairing, and it's actually Voodoo Queen and Midnight Rider. So that's not even Morticia on there at all. It's Midnight Rider. So that merchandise is screwed up too. But I figured, whatever. It's a dark Sumatran. Nobody has to know. But yeah, proud parent moment there. I didn't even recognize which one. But when they're that dark, it's hard to tell from a picture. Especially that picture, like you can only see like the neck and whatever. There's no tail, nothing. So it was hard to tell, and I just assumed it was the sisters. Yeah, the only one that's good is Atlas. Atlas is fine. He is who he is, no questions there. Of course, watch, he'll turn out to be a female. But we'll see what happens. I'm going to try to breed him this year, so we'll see. He's at about the age when Orion finally figured it out and started breeding, because Orion didn't want to breed the first time or two I paired him either, and Atlas didn't want to last year. So that line seems to really come on strong in like year 4. So he's 4 this year. So hopefully he will figure it out and get it rolling. And I can play with that gray stuff some more. Anybody have any questions before we wrap this up? Let it run. Da, 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 da. I think I answered just about everything everybody asked that I saw. So hopefully I did. When's the OnlyFans coming? Obviously not anytime soon, because, you know, I can't post the kind of content I would want to post on there. Or at least so I heard. I have not spent any time on OnlyFans, so I don't know. So earlier, was that Sonia you mentioned? Yeah, I just know her as Sonia K, so yeah, I would think so. She works with olive pythons. Oh, you're back? See, I didn't even know that. So yeah, she works with olive pythons, McLeod's pythons. She has a few species there. Really, really nice lady, really cool. I haven't talked to her in ages. Oh, you bought one of the stickers in white. Didn't I bring stickers with you when you got the snakes, or did I forget? Yeah, Savus are awesome. They're on my list someday to get when I can get an actual pair or trio or something. I need freaking Scotty to figure it out and get his breeding so I can buy them from him. Although I noticed, oh shit, what's his name? Gary. Gary got 3 clutches, I think, this year of Savus. So he did very well. I think Lon's produced them in the past. I'm just thinking of people that I talk to and know that have done it. Yeah, he did. They were silver, het silver, different stuff going on there. But Savu pythons are awesome. I like anything Liasis, really. You know, I would get done someday if I could afford them. Gary's last name, I think, is like Shivano or something. He's on YouTube. I think it's like GSR Reptiles. GSR? I don't know. I'm bad with that. I just missed that last one. Shivano. Yeah, so I'm in the right ballpark. Yeah, that's what I was saying. The one you sent with Atlas was my favorite. Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah, no, it came out good with that background. That was something that Kara helped me with, and we played around with some different colors and whatever. And at first it was tough finding something that worked with him, but that color really worked well. So yeah, I have Tubbs barked. The guys that have stickers of their own have their own stickers on. So Voodoo Queen has one. Morticia has one over there now. Although I put Morticia's on the wrong side now because initially she was over here and I put it where you came in the door, but now that's on the wheel side, which usually goes in. So I have her in backwards right now so I can see the sticker. But I'll have to switch that around at some point. A bigger version though, if that was bamboo. Yeah, that was those stickers I didn't make through the site. Those I made through Sticker Mule. Sticker Mule does, they do specials all the time where you can get like really good deals and they'll just email you or they text me and they're like, oh, today this is this price. So once in a while when I see that stuff going on is when I typically get stickers made. But the background color is always a hard choice because it can totally make or break something. I was glad, I think Mike is the one that got the black on black shirt with the Sumatrans on it, if I'm not mistaken. That convinced me that was the way to go, and I'm really happy that I did. I liked that one for myself. And then I did the Atlas on black shirt, which just really pops well. And my Ron Burgundy shirt looks like hell on earth. But I didn't get the active t-shirt. I got a different one. And I also don't always follow the drying directions. I just throw everything in the dryer and fucking dry it. I don't do soft or this or that or hang dry. Fuck it. So I destroyed that shirt. So I think from now on I would just do the active ones because those ones hold up better to frequent washing and drying. Whereas the more traditional, like cloth style or classic t-shirt did not hold up to drying. It's discolored and very chunky and just looks like shit. So you learn as you go. But yeah, those are the projects that I think I'm going to do this year. Or at least that are in my head, wheels spinning, and we'll see where we get to. I've got to feed a couple girls a little heavy and get them where I want them weight-wise. Like the T-positive big girl, she's pretty good right now. Give her a couple more big meals, she's ready to roll. I want to put a little bit more size on Morticia, ideally. Electra just needs a couple more meals ready to roll. Lilith, a couple more meals ready to roll. You know, the Matrix Het's ready to roll if I decide to use her. The biggest deal is, though, with Blood Pythons not going back-to-back, I want to stagger those and always have available females. So ideally, I can try to produce stuff every season of each species. And I don't want to produce, you know, like 6 or 7 clutches of the same species. So I could easily pair up probably 8 or 9 Borneo females this year and go buck wild. But why? You know, Borneos take a little longer to sell to begin with. And there's just no reason to flood the market like that. You want quality over quantity. I don't want to spread my males thin. And so I want to just stick to certain projects each year and kind of keep up with the routine. I do want to hopefully have a nice season this year because I do want to move. And so if I could have a good season where I pump out maybe 80 or 100 babies, make a little money, pay off my debt, and be ready to move, that wouldn't be such a terrible thing. So we'll see what happens. It's all up to the animals. Amy Rat Snake Elvira in honor of Elvira coming out. Did she really come out? And I mean, I would think that wouldn't be that much of a surprise, but I didn't know she was not. I guess I missed that whole thing. I didn't even know she was still alive, to be honest. I don't know what she's been doing with her life or career. I would think I would save that name for a darker animal, though, than her. How many mature females do you have of each subspecies? Well, first of all, they're not subspecies. They're separate species. Schroeder Booking confirmed it. She's 70. Oh, wow, yeah. So, Blood Python females, Big Red technically is of age and size, but I'm not breeding her right now with her head looking like it is. I have the Matrix Het T-positive female. I have the big T-positive. I have Raiden. I have the funky T-positive. That's really it for Blood Python females that are really of size, ready to roll. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Blood Python females. As far as Borneo females go, I have Callisto, I have the Blue Ghost female, I have Electra, I have Lilith. The two skunk girls are basically ready. Astra's basically ready. So maybe I only have like 7 Borneo females that are really ideal size. Because I sold the Super Strike female to Jeremy. I let go of that Granite female to Josh. So yeah, about 7 of those. Sumatran wise, now that I got rid of Incognito, I have Black Magic, Morticia, Voodoo Queen, and Amina, who are probably the full, and Sambuca, of course. So probably about 5 of those girls that are ready to rock and roll at any time. And then I have plenty of stuff coming up behind them. For other species, I have 1 water python female that's good. My olive female is good. The boa female is, but I don't even have another boa. I just have her, so she's not breeding anytime soon. Not that I have any intention of producing boas ever, anyhow. My Cape York female would be ready to roll. Hey, what's going on? I haven't seen you in a while there. We got a cactus and a peace sign. Does that mean you're headed out to the desert? But yeah, no, so I have about half a dozen of each species on average. Another year from now, I get a lot of stuff that'll probably be ready to go. But, you know, I don't really want to pair up more than 3 of a species in a season. If you think you're not going to have much success, maybe you could do 4, hoping to get 2 or 3 clutches. Yeah, I understand life's crazy. Believe me, I haven't really been on much, and I don't think I put a video out in like 2 weeks, maybe longer. So I understand that. But yeah, so I have about a half a dozen. And like I said, you know, obviously Raiden just went this year with those babies that you saw earlier that are hers. So she's off this year no matter what. Big Red's off no matter what. The Blue Ghost female is off no matter what. She technically gave me a clutch this year, but it was like 4 shitty eggs and that was it. But I'm not pushing her because I didn't think she was going to have a clutch, and she was kind of on the edge of having an RI for a while, which I think was partly because she was gravid, which I didn't know. So she won't be doing anything for a while. It's field herping in Arizona, but obsessed with finding different crotalus species. Nice, I can't fault that. You know, I know a few people that have, I know a couple people that sold their collections to herp. I like field herping, but I definitely like working with my animals more than I like field herping. So I don't field herp much, mostly because I hate heat and humidity, and that's really when you find a lot of good stuff, and so that's not my speed usually. If they were like snow snakes, I would be the herping king, because I'd be out there in the snow all day long. I love the cold. But yeah, that Matrix Het T positive hasn't bred in a couple years, so she's good to go at any time. It's just a matter of what I put her to. The big T positive hasn't bred in a few years, so she's primed, good to go. So she'll definitely go to the T positive 007. I've actually considered throwing him in there now, because they both just shed within the last week. But I want to wait a little bit longer. Since I'm still sitting on these T positive 007s, I don't see any reason to rush that pairing. And then I'm not sure what I want to do with the Matrix Het. So I could make that male go to 2 females and try to shoot for stuff there, but I just don't see the point in doing that right now. I think I'd rather try the T positive Batik to her and go after the Batrix stuff and make some red Batrix stuff. Outside of that, if it was like next year, I might throw the T positive Ivory to her if I don't breed her this year, because he's unrelated to her, so he's out of Raiden too, so he could go to her, and it's not a related pairing. So with him being a T positive Ivory, her being a Matrix Het T positive, everything would be Matrix, everything would be Het T positive, and then I might get some T positive Ivories, some Ivories, you know, T positive, obviously T positive Matrix, regular Matrix. So would be a worthwhile pairing either way. So we'll see what we do with her. But I'm going to wrap this up. I think I answered all the questions now that everybody had. So you're not going to join Rob on his trip to Borneo, I take it then? For that, I would go. Actually, Josh, Rob, and I had talked a while back about some kind of Indo trip, and it just never happened. Financially, I probably won't be able to go, but if I have the money to go, I would go. I'll suffer. There's certain things I'll suffer for. Borneo, Sumatra, Indo, Malaysia, I'd suffer. Africa, I'd suffer. Australia, I'd suffer. But like herping in Connecticut when it's hot and humid, no, not for me. Unless you guarantee me we're going to see some horridus, I'd suffer. That's the only species I would suffer for. Yeah, I would love to find rock pythons in a wild, and I'd probably get bit by them because I would definitely grab them. And I don't even care. I love rock pythons. They can bite the shit out of me. I don't mind. No complaints there at all. I appreciate that. I'm trying to kind of keep the passion of making videos going. It's been a little difficult. I really haven't felt like the engagement's been good on the videos that I've done recently, which always makes it harder, but I really am trying to keep that rolling. It's just frustrating. You know, I've been at it now for I don't know how long. I think coming up on 2 years in November. All those super chats tonight have been something. Yeah. Oh, I definitely appreciate all those for sure. That's huge because most of my videos make like $1.50. So to be able to make a little money on the super chats definitely helps. So thank you guys. Cheer with my little vodka lemonade here. I'm going to get rolling. I want to clean a couple snakes before I go to bed. It's been crazy at work. With my coworker leaving, it's just been me, and we just had a new guy start today. But obviously, it's going to be a month or two before he's even remotely a help instead of a hindrance. And nothing against him; it's nothing to do with him. It's just a huge, huge learning curve. And it's like I'm trying not to throw massive amounts of information at him. I don't know what that is. Make them whatever pace you need to. That was random. It just told me like you're a member for 8 months. I don't understand what just happened. Yeah, no, I understand that. It's just, it's hard sometimes when you put a lot of effort into something and just watch it go. It's my what? It's your featured what? These fucking comments go away so quick. It's my featured message. I don't even know. We have special powers. I did not know that. That's the first time I've seen anybody do that yet. You have not been popping in my feed, FYI, and the bell is clicked on. Well, I haven't posted anything in like 2 weeks, so that's not too surprising there. But YouTube is very fickle on notifications. Sometimes it's instant, works great. Other times nothing, because like I follow channels and I'm like, is this person even posting? I don't get anything, and then all of a sudden I go there and it tells me. And then there's other channels where I don't have the bell on, and every fucking thing they do it tells me. So I don't know what YouTube does. Like I listen to, you know, I don't watch wrestling anymore at all. Like I grew up watching it, but I listen to a lot of like podcasts and things and guys that talk about it, just because I enjoy the history of the business and all that kind of stuff. So even though I haven't watched like actual wrestling in probably 10 years, I listen to a lot of that. So like Jim Cornette, for instance, I don't even have my bell on, but every fucking thing he posts, right away I get a notification. Whereas other people that I actually have my bell on for, nothing. So who knows? You know, like Lori and Brian and people like that you'd think I would get notifications. Brian Cusco, not Brian Barczyk. I do not follow that channel, just to be clear there. Old school wrestling podcasts are fire. Yeah, no, I like him. You know, I'll listen to some of Stone Cold stuff that he does. You know, even Talk is Jericho. Jericho does some good stuff. Just because they're guys that are in the business and know the business and talking to other people involved, and you know, it's one of those things that a lot of people don't appreciate it because it's, you know, fake or whatever. But it's an interesting business, and my uncle locally, sort of uncle, long story, one of those like longtime family friends who's sort of family. He owns a sports memorabilia shop and stuff, and he hosts a lot of the local events here. And so when I was younger, I used to go to them, and I got to meet a bunch of those guys. You know, I met Test and Edge and the Big Boss Man and the Road Dog and Mick Foley. I got Mick Foley to sign the book that he wrote, so stuff like that. So it was cool to do that. Fake or not? Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. Like, it's planned. Fake is like such a poor word for it. Like, there's a plan on what they're gonna do, but there's actually a lot less planning than people think. A lot of that stuff's called on the fly as they're working. And I'll tell you what, those injuries are real. You know, I don't care how much pre-planning you do, you get thrown 20 feet onto a platform, it fucking hurts. If you ever see those guys' bodies after that stuff, it's pretty crazy, and there's a very, very small margin for error on some of those things. And you know, most of those guys and girls are insanely talented, insanely professional. Obviously, there's a few that aren't, but it's pretty crazy. Old school, late 1980s WWE kick. Someone has been posting compilations for each month. I'm on March 19th. Brings me back. I find it fascinating. So much information on how the business worked is finally available. What do you think, Cusco and Garrett's Searchable as Reptiles podcast? I have not listened to Cusco and Garrett's podcast. I've listened to a lot of both their YouTube channels. I've listened to a lot of other podcasts, but I have not listened to that one, so I really don't have a comment. I'm not a big podcast guy. I have to be in the mood, and usually it's when I'm cleaning snakes and I'll put something on. But typically, if I put on a podcast in the past, it's either been Reptile Talk with Rob in Germany, it's been, you know, NPR with Eric and Owen, or, you know, Joe from the ground up. And I don't even know if Joe's still doing it. I honestly I haven't listened. I took the podcast app off my phone. For a while, I was having trouble with space, and I had to get rid of a bunch of apps. And what it ended up being is I just had to delete YouTube and reload it. But for some reason, YouTube was taking up like all this space on my phone for no reason. So once I deleted it and re-downloaded it, you know, I cleared up, and now there's like ample space on my phone, but I haven't added it back. So, you know, there's a lot of people that have mixed feelings on Garrett. I like Garrett overall. I think the content and information he puts out there is pretty sound. You know, there's a few times where he's kind of defended guys like Brian and Jay that I really feel like he shouldn't have. But that's his prerogative, his opinion, his platform. But the content that he actually makes and puts out for the most part, I think is very educational and very good. I much appreciate the work he's putting in with locality-specific stuff with his super dwarfs. You know, a lot of people just try to make super dwarfs to make some money and get out the door. He's really putting in the long-term work to, you know, develop these lines, keep them as pure as possible. When he is out crossing, he's very honest about it, at least from my perspective, what I can tell. As far as Cusco goes, amazing human being, like Brian a lot. He always looks at the positive in everything, which sometimes makes me want to shake him, because sometimes he looks so hard for the positive in people that really don't deserve that much praise and attention. But I can't fault him for wanting to see that. So, yeah, Garrett really... there's a couple people that I think do a good job with super dwarfs, but I think he's probably the most transparent and easily accessible. You know, and I've met Garrett and Brian both in person. Garrett on multiple occasions, Brian just once. But yeah, Brian I really appreciate as a human being. And it's kind of sad because there's some people that you know, even within the short tail community, I see some people that kind of go at him hard because he's not critical of certain people. But it's just not in his nature as a person. Every once in a while, if he really, really feels something's important to be critical of, he will be. But it's just not who he is, and I don't think we should fault people for that. You know, if it was his behavior that was negative, then yes, absolutely. But faulting somebody for not riding somebody hard enough for their behavior, I don't think is really necessary. I do wish, believe me, if in a perfect world in my mind, I do wish people like him would be more critical of these people that deserve to be critical of, because every single piece of content we put out there can have a massive effect on this hobby for better or worse. And unfortunately, the cringier stuff is going to get more attention just by the nature of it, by people's nature, by confirmation bias, by all these different things. And so people like myself and people like Brian have to work so much harder, Garrett, whoever. You know, Jason for the most part, I think puts out good content. I used to love Nerds content a lot. Now it's a little bit of a mixed bag, unfortunately. You know, by and large, there's still a lot of educational value there, but there's also a little bit too much shenanigans that I don't think positively promote the hobby. But it's tough sledding. And, you know, everybody has a different opinion. Everybody feels differently about it. But I know for myself, every single thing that I put out, you know, I'm thinking of the hobby and how it's going to affect the hobby positively, negatively, and whatever. And, you know, as you guys saw with the white lip, I made a very difficult personal decision because I feel like it's better for the animal and for the species and for the hobby. So for me, the better thing would be to keep that snake and have him for 20 years and enjoy him because I absolutely love him. But it's selfish at the end of the day because that snake can do so much more where he's going in a breeding program, in a nicer enclosure, a nicer setup. Yeah, I'm not into boas or berms. I mean, berms, I don't hate berms, but like, if there's one snake that if I never had to keep another one, I'd be on board with, it's berms. They're just mindless animals. But I appreciate Jason as a person. I'm excited that he's going to be a father. Jason really is a good guy. And I've spent a fairly decent amount of time with him, you know, one-on-one. And he's a very straightforward guy, and he's very down to earth and has a good sense of humor. He takes phenomenal care of his animals, and I think his heart is in the right place for sure. And you know, he definitely has made videos on topics and said things that I don't necessarily agree with, but he's not putting out cringeworthy content. And you know, you're not going to agree with every single opinion everybody has on these animals. You're just not. So I think people need to kind of focus more on common ground and less on, you know, where their differences are. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to throw stones at Donnie. Donnie's not a reptile person, so ultimately his job is to increase views and do that, and the style that he's done is doing that. So Donnie's perspective is not as a reptile keeper, and while he's been immersed in it and he does have an understanding, it's not the same. So I don't fault him for that. He's doing what he's paid to do. And he does put out some absolutely incredible videos from time to time. Some of the work he's done exposing other channels and some of the stuff they're doing that's hurting the hobby has been incredible. So he has done some really good work. But yeah, the cringeworthy stuff and whatever that does attract the views is not my style and not something I'm ever going to appreciate because I just don't feel like it's selling us the best way we can. My phone's going to die though, so I'm going to cut this short before that happens. So I thank you guys that super chatted, thank you guys that are members, thank you guys that show up and comment and like and subscribe and do all that stuff. It helps immensely. Thank you to you guys that have bought snakes from me. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you all soon. Take care.